Yeah, Jack, are you frozen?
Sam, are you there?
Yeah, Jack, are you frozen?
Sam, are you there?
Yeah, Jack, are you frozen?
Sam, are you there?
What are we even doing here?
Yo, Wi-Fi flying, but they holding it down. How about them J-era Maz ballers running Beantown? They say these guys are ridiculous, yet probably true. Like the 23 Celtics, they got a deep crew. Pregame Polly Papa trying to make some bank. Professor Pete repping Latvia, KP the thank. RJ's on the email taking fools to college. Joey, Matt, Timo, Robin, let's acknowledge. What are we even doing here? We're taking the crown. Checking Sam, talking Celtics and breaking it down. Competition can't keep up, they're starting to frown. What are we even doing here? In the garden, fighting for a quiet spot. Jack's taking notes while the crowd gets hot. Irate, insightful, not a diplomat. Sam's got a long list and it's just for rats. Rat list your Wi-Fi, rat list your dog. Rat list Bronny, rat list LeBron. Rat list the traffic, rat list the song. Rat list that's getting too long. What are we even doing here? We're taking the crown. Checking Sam, talking Celtics and breaking it down. Competition can't keep up, they're starting to frown. What are we even doing here? Might think they're chill, Sam's keeping it real with the Starkey vibe, but he's all in with Jack when it's time to ride. Your ass hat in the chat, Jack says don't come back. He's got zero patience for nonsense attacks. What are we even doing here? We're taking the crown. Checking Sam, talking Celtics and breaking it down. Competition can't keep up, they're starting to frown. What are we even doing here? What are we even doing here? We're taking the crown. Jack and Sam talking Celtics and breaking it down. Competition can't keep up, they're starting to frown. What are we even doing here?
Whoa, we made it. Happy, what day is it? New Year. Happy New Year, I guess. Thursday.
One day and you're already behind, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, feels like a Saturday. That's why it's not Saturday, but because it's all the college football that's on today. RJ is here. Nick is here. Welcome in, RJ. Special guest, RJ. You guys all know him. He's always in the comments. He's the leader of the email section.
Yes.
Welcome aboard, RJ. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you both. Good to see you, Nick. Good to see you, Sam.
What's good, RJ? How you feeling, man?
Yeah. Informal meeting of the Amari Williams fan club, I see.
Informal.
Little triple-double for Amari up in Maine. Not bad.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Is that the most exciting Celtics thing we're going to get today? Celtics Kings, 8-25 Sacramento Kings have us staying up till 10 p.m. to watch tip-off today. If you're a Western Conference team that isn't in the play-in, the game should start on Eastern time. Like the team with the better record should get the start time. RJ, you're in California.
Yep. I won't argue that. I frankly like catching the East Coast start times because a 4 or 5 p.m. start for me means that by the time the game is done, I still have a good part of the evening left. I can go do stuff. You know, my life is uninterrupted. This is going to go till 9:30, 10 o'clock. God knows if it goes into overtime later.
You know it's going to go to overtime.
Oh,
It always these games always last forever.
Well, it's got DeMar DeRozan, so it's guaranteed to be 30 minutes longer just because of his old ass.
Uh-oh.
No, it's I like the idea, and frankly, I think most folks on the West Coast get used to the earlier start time.
Yeah, it should. You guys should have to watch 4 p.m. games if you're playing the Celtics. You just should. My sleep is more important than your commute home from work. You can put it on the radio. You can watch on your phone as a passenger. Don't watch on your phone and drive.
Please don't.
Thank you.
Man, I hate the West Coast trips. Jack could not have picked a better week to go away. Just avoid staying up until the wee hours of the morning. Yeah, the Australians, they've got a great setup, 2 p.m. It's like they're watching football today. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Jack's a smart man.
Jack timed it up well.
Yes, he did.
It's a well-deserved break, too.
Yeah.
Celtics playing good ball, though. As of right now, well, officially as of now, the Pistons just lost. So the Celtics are now 4 games back of first place. If they win tonight in Sacramento, they will be 3.5 games back, 2 games behind the Knicks, who lost to the Spurs last night. And heading into 2026, I don't think anyone would have predicted this. You couldn't have thought that the Celtics would be this close to being at the top of the conference after the Jason injury and all of the different turnover they had this summer. And yet here they are playing insanely fun basketball and, more importantly, good basketball.
Yeah, man, I definitely didn't predict this. I didn't think that was going to be horrible or anything, but like 20-12 and being like this like close to the first seed, like I've always said that like nobody in the East like scares me per se, right? And that if we get to the playoffs, it's time to win. You know what I'm saying? And for us to be this close without Tatum, it's just kind of mind blowing, honestly. We're a game behind the Knicks. Like this is insane. Well, no, we're 2 games behind the Knicks in the loss column, but this is like insane. And this team offensively has been amazing this season. Defensively, we've had stretches where we've been great, but like Jaylen Brown is a first-team All-NBA guy. Derek White and Peyton Pritchard have started to shoot better from the floor. So I don't see anything except for injuries. Hopefully that does not happen. The Celtics have been blessed with relatively great health. So other than that, I don't see this team slowing down. I'm not saying they'll be the top seed, but this 3 to 4 range, it seems like it could be theirs.
Yeah, I mean, I before the season, I actually picked them to be a 46-win team and to land the number 4 spot. So this is even exceeding my hopes and expectations. But I agree with you. Right now, the thing I see from the Celtics is that Derek and Pritchard and Hauser, I think, are starting to round into playing ball without Tatum. I think of all the people on the team, they're the ones that are most affected by it because they developed mechanisms based on his gravity, his presence, his contributions. And without him out there, defense have been able to shift onto them more and put more pressure on them. Not insane amounts, but enough to throw off their rhythm, to get them out of their routine. And now they're establishing a new routine, and you're starting to see that pick up too. So, I mean, it could mean that the next month the Celtics actually play even better than they've been playing to this point.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this season to this point has told us that is what should happen, right? Like the Celtics have improved. They look like a completely different team than they did the first couple of weeks of the season. Obviously, they started 0-3. Nobody wanted to see that. It was time to fire up the tanks for like a week there in October. And since then, it's been a delight to watch these guys. They play hard. Since being 0-3, they're 20-9. Like that is an impressive pace to be on as a competitive team without your top player. Jaylen deserves all the credit in the world. And, you know, speaking of Tatum and his impact on the Celtics and when to perhaps expect him to come back, we did get this gem from the Celtics today. Big things to come in 2026 is the way that they welcomed all of us to the new year. Even though some of the Aussies beat us to the punch, they were there first. Big in all caps, things coming in 2026. And friend of the program, Dan Donabedian of Clutch Points, pointed it out. Last year, it was just Happy New Year. There was no tease. There was nothing to come. And to be honest with you, last season, there could have been plenty of reason to be like, this year's going to be awesome. Might win back-to-back titles for the first time since the Bill Russell days. And it was just a simple Happy New Year. So as somebody who has a microphone in front of him and has the responsibility to stir up controversy to make content for a half hour here, it makes me wonder if do we really think the Celtics social team is going to be the one to break the story that Jason Tatum is coming back? But it feels like this is just another piece of evidence to put on the, I don't know what you would call it, like the evidence board they have with all the little thumbtacks and everything when they're doing an investigation to point to Tatum maybe being ready to come back at some point somewhat soon. You're muted.
Oh, I guess it wasn't that important anyway. No, but like when they put out the eyes, like that get people thinking about something. So I don't know, man. I do expect Tatum to come back at some point. I think being this good without Tatum certainly takes less pressure off him, but I'm pretty sure he puts a lot of pressure on himself because he works super hard already. So just like hopefully it is Tatum. I really hope it is Tatum. I just think the top priority is him coming back at 110%. I don't want people to expect Tatum to be Tatum as soon as he comes back, or if we even if he's back for the playoffs, because that's like he's coming back into some high intensity shit. So hopefully it is Tatum. The contrast is glaring from the last year's one to this one, so I will say that. But hopefully it is Tatum.
I agree, and I do think it will be Tatum. I just don't see Jason being the sort of guy who's going to sit out any longer than is medically necessary. What that date is, my own hope is it's going to be right before the All-Star break, that he's got everything together. He can come out, get a few games under his belt, and then have the long weekend to not so much rest, but recharge and take a look and see where his body is at after 2 or 3 games of play. I wrote a piece for Celtics blog today in the feed, which is kind of what to expect when JT returns, because he's going to come into a situation that's different significantly from what he left. I mean, not just in terms of JB taking the lead, but Drew, Horford, KP, Cornette being gone, and you've got the team that's now established its own identity in its own right without him. And in some ways, he's going to be the one to fit in with what they've already established. So I think that's going to be interesting to watch and to see how Joe utilizes him when he's ready to step back onto the court.
Yeah, and with the potential limitations of his body and his conditioning and his feel for the game when he initially comes back, I think that is going to be an interesting factor too. Like Nick and I kind of hit this back and forth over the net on the show yesterday, but even if you're getting him at 50%, the floor for Jason Tatum is still pretty good. It's still you're adding a rotational wing who can defend and probably be an off-ball offensive guy at the very, very least, right? Like, and that is the floor. Like, that's the basement. On top of that, it gets better. Like, oh, more shot creation, more playmaking, more vision, more gravity,
More
as Nick
rebounding.
pointed out, more rebounding. Like, there are so many great things that he does without having to be this megastar. Like, he does a lot of little things great, which is how you ultimately get to superstar status. But yeah, it could be soon. Celtics 5, Pritchard, White, Brown, Walsh. It's what we would all expect. And then if I could find my cursor across any of my 3 screens here, I would scroll to the Kings one and tell you that it is Russell Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, Precious Achiuwa, and Maxime Reynaud, who Maxime Reynaud was one of those guys hovering around the Celtics range in the draft. Nick, did you look at him at all when that was part of the process? What did you think, and what have you thought of him so far this season?
Yeah, I looked at him, Carl Brenner, of course, Amari. There was not a lot, but there was a couple of big men that I was looking at coming out of college. Of course, like he offensively, he can do everything. He can put the ball on the floor. He can shoot from all three levels. His 3 hasn't come around yet. But like if you projected him to be like he has touch from the inside with either hand. He can post up a little bit. He can pass a little bit. He can dribble a little bit. He can attack closeout. So offensively, that was a guy like I was like, okay, if we need somebody to put the ball in the basket at the 5 position to give the defense some trouble, and also like he can roll, he can pop, he can do it. Excuse me, he can do a lot of things offensively. Now, defensively was the part where I was like, it's gonna take a little bit more time, and especially with the Kings, he fits right in. But I've liked him this season. I didn't think he was gonna catch on this quick. It certainly helps when he has a guard like Russell who literally just like pocket feeds him and like those thread the needle type passes where he can just get the floater off, or he can just get finishes at the rim. Certainly helps him. But no, he's been really good. He's been surprising me this year. But it's like I'm only surprised at the fact that he's doing this so early. Like nothing he's doing in the game is something I didn't think he could do. He's averaging 11.6 rebounds and only 22 minutes a game. He's been starting for some time now. Of course, Sabonis has been out for some time, and I think he had another setback or something like that. So it's going to be Reno. I like Cardwell too. He's like the complete opposite of him. Reno is an offensive player. Dylan Cardwell is all defense. So I like this young mix of bigs that they have, especially when you try to project what this team will look like without Sabonis if they do end up finding a trade partner for him. So I think, of course, going younger is the way. But Reno on offense, Cardwell on defense doesn't seem too bad.
It is funny to just thinking about the Kings and how they've gotten here. The moves they've made on purpose to be 8-25 with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine and Sabonis taking up millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars of their cap space. But maybe they'll get lucky. And they gave up on Nemi and
yeah. They gave up on him for JaVale McGee. Just to let that
NBA champion JaVale McGee.
Wow.
They were trying to bring a winning culture, teach guys how to win in Sacramento. Did it work for 1 year? They got Nemi the year after the Kings made their little 3-seed push. He was there when they were good that one season, I believe. We're gonna find out.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Nemi was there for 22-23. Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's crazy that they had that drought for so long, and like they finally got into the playoffs, and it was just 1 year.
And they still lost the first round.
And yeah, they still lost in the first round. It was 7 games against Curry, who went ballistic. But like their fans are really good. Like they have really good fans. They continue to pack the house even when they're not good. Their fans deserve more. Their organization is just their ownership is just not great. So
they gave them the beam.
They did get the beam, but the beam is kind of worthless when you don't win anymore.
Yeah,
so.
really.
Well, they're doing good for the planet. They're saving energy.
Well, the NBA is worried about things like how do we correct for tanking, how do we adjust for all sorts of stuff. I think rather than relegation, the NBA should just remove ownership of responsibilities. If a team goes in the toilet for 2-3 years in a row, just say no, you don't know what you're doing. We're gonna take over the team for a year, maybe 2, make some draft picks for you, and then send you guys to remedial ownership college. Learn how to do your job, and then hand the reins back to you. Because you're right, the fans in Sacramento deserve better, and they're not getting it from this ownership group. They haven't gotten it from an ownership group, I think, in this millennium.
Bill Simmons was on the recent episode of his show and said something similar, or maybe it was he was doing a mailbag. It might have been a listener that suggested this, but it was like if you go 8 years and you don't make the top 6, which the Kings would qualify for this once, then the ownership has to sell. That would be an interesting way to go about it, but they're just like in this weird purgatory. They're in a small market. They don't have really anything to sell players on. Not that they really. Not the NBA teams build teams by getting free agents anymore anyways, but they don't have anything that sets them apart or makes them a destination or intrigues anybody. They're just Chicago Bulls West, but worse.
Yes, Chicago Bulls West. They Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, I don't know, man. I don't know. And I think Fox kind of put them in a deeper hole, even though we knew this from the jump that, hey, you're probably going to have to trade Fox because after the playoff thing and when things start to go downhill, we knew, hey, something's going to have to shake. But then you waited to the last moment. I don't want to harp on that too much because they've been bad for so long. So if you have a chance to be competent at least, I can't tell you after a year you just cut that. So that's cool, right? But Fox put them in a deeper hole, but I thought they should have gone the opposite direction than a Zach LaVine trade. That's hey, we still want to be cool. No, you need to go the opposite way. But now you put yourself in this hole, and they probably did not have a choice. But you can't come out of that deal with Zach LaVine. You can't come out of it with his contract. Like, I don't hate Zach LaVine. It's just that you're not a team that needs Zach LaVine. Like, you shouldn't be acquiring guys that could possibly help you be a slightly better. It doesn't work like that. So, yeah, they are in a tough place for right now, but they do have one thing to look forward to is they have all of their picks, majority of their picks. I remember they had Atlanta had one of their picks, but I think that was some time ago. That already happened. So they have their draft picks.
Mhm.
Maybe if they could trade somebody for something on his roster. I think Malik Monk will have some interest. Keon Ellis will have some interest, even though he has to be paid this offseason. DeRozan and Sabonis are going to be harder to fit on some teams because of their price tag and just how they play. But they have to really do something this trade deadline. But they do have their picks. Not the greatest drafters, I will say, but Lee Clifford is good. Maxime is good. They picked up Dylan Carwell, undrafted free agency. So hopefully they're starting to turn the corner. If they get a top pick, we'll see.
Yeah, I think you're
Go ahead,
optimistic,
RJ.
but my pick would be that they're going to trade out from DeRozan's contract or Sabonis's contract, give up one of their first round picks, and
What?
somehow manage to make themselves worse because
Yeah,
it's the
like
Kings.
that would be a
Don't
very on brand
No,
type
no.
of way to approach
no no
this.
no. I'm
Just
not.
being like, man, we got to do something.
Trey
Yeah,
Young.
yeah, no. Think about this. I don't mind them picking up Levine as much as I thought that they're going for DeRozan was really the ultimate bad move because when you have Fox and you have a very active, energetic, high-speed offense, what do you want to add to it to really crank it up to that next level? The world's slowest mid-range shooter. Um,
That'll do it.
I, yeah, I just thought DeRozan was a big mistake. But
I don't
again,
want to be
uh,
mean to DeRozan, but there is something to going after a guy in like convincing yourself that's the way. Granted, DeRozan's not on a bad contract anymore. Like
no.
No, he's like
30 million
20.
a year for him isn't too bad. But
Mhm.
being like this guy, the guy that got traded from Toronto, and that was the thing that helped them get over the hump, is going to help us all of a sudden turn our team around. It is so obviously not the right step forward and the right path forward for them. Yet they've done it. They went and got Zach LaVine, who is just like undoubtedly one of the biggest losing players in the league. And they have boxed themselves in again. But luckily, as Nick said, they do have the draft picks.
Is that lucky for the Kings?
It's lucky. Yeah, because you could have ended up like attaching them for Levine or doing something even dumber. Like you
True.
could have just put yourself into a worse spot. Like you could have poked holes in your life raft instead of like just having it being straight in the middle of the Pacific Ocean with nothing around you on a life raft that has no holes in it instead of a life raft that's sinking. But it's not much better.
Somehow there's going to be a trade between Sacramento and New Orleans that both teams lose.
I mean, I'm thinking about the Fox thing and like if they waited, which I don't know if it was an option, but also firing Mike Brown was bad. Brown
Yeah,
is
that was bad.
effectively
Yeah,
like a good
like
coach
Yeah.
and a good guy, it seems like. But if they had waited to trade Fox, like player power actually is like kind of a little bit too pressuring. Like they have too much say and swing. If they waited till now, there are so many mediocre players that they could take their swing at now. Like you could go and maybe get Trey Young, or you could get LaMelo, or you could try and get Ja, or maybe Anthony Davis is in the cards, who's actually won something at some point. Like I don't know who's the best fit. I don't think it does that much more for them, but I would take all of those guys probably over Zach LaVine.
yeah, if you don't have to give up a pick to get those guys, like you're the Kings, bro. You kind of have to swing.
Yeah.
Now this is different from like a Zach LaVine or DeRozan. Those guys are young, and you can still kind of see like them being like a 1B2 type of guy, right? But like it's just especially without Fox, like bro, they traded Halliburton and like again, you got your playoff thing, cool, right?
I forgot about Halliburton. I don't know how I forgot about that. Oh,
And
The
like,
mind can only contain so much bad trade.
oh my
bro,
God.
like I did a video like 2 years ago, and I was like,
Hold
it was
on,
like
the
a
Kings have-
trade thing.
Okay, so the Kings got the Hornets' first round pick this year. Is it protected?
Yeah, it's definitely protected.
All
Definitely
right, so it's worthless.
protected. It's probably lottery protected or something. So
All right, continue.
definitely
Sorry.
protected. Now you and like I just like went through their draft history for like the last 10 years, and it's just nothing. It's just not good, bro.
Mhm.
It's just
They've
not
traded
good.
the only two good players that they've drafted.
Yeah, it's and yeah, they and then his offseason, like what type of team building is this? You sign Russ. It's not even like the players are bad. You just team build it horribly. Like you signed Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook
On
like
purpose.
on purpose. And then they got a Chua, who again, I don't think these are horrible players. It's just like none of this fits together. And
Yeah.
maybe that's a part of the plan. Like, hey, get sizable contracts, tradable contracts, and let's be horrible because we don't fit. Maybe that's what they were doing. So I don't know.
Good. I don't think anyone knows. And the Kings remind me of like the general manager is playing rotisserie or fantasy ball. It's like these guys all look good on stat sheets, but if you try to put them together as a team on the court, it just oil and water and more oil and nothing. There's no chemistry. There's no flow.
What a sad for it. Why can't this be the Lakers? You know why? Because when anytime, like if this was the Lakers, they would just get a free guy. Like it was about to be the Lakers, and then they just got Luka handed to them.
It literally was. Wait, there's a way. The Kings need to get a player as close to a superstar as possible
And
and trade him to the Lakers so they can get the first pick. It won't be this year, unfortunately, because it's too late for that. But when there's a year where somebody is, but the Kings have to get somebody close to a superstar. So that's the thing. I don't know how the hell that's gonna happen.
That's going to be a challenge in and of itself.
That's probably the greatest challenge because you can send a superstar to them all you want. That's cool, but you might get the first pick, bro. You might get the first pick. So
Wow. That's a scary thought. The Kings
didn't draft
with the number
Luka.
one pick overall.
They could have drafted Luka, and they had Vlade, who is like a tapped-in Europe guy, and they didn't take Luka.
No Bagley, and like I didn't even think like I'm not going to sit here and say I thought Bagley would literally be nothing for the Kings. Like I'm not going to sit here and say that, but like Luka was in the second best league ever and was 17 years old getting MVPs. Nobody does that. So that probably was a sign there that, hey, shit, this guy might be pretty cool. Now, again, I'm not gonna say I thought Marvin Bagley would do nothing in a Sacramento, but the Luka thing was it's mind blowing, bro.
I'm going to throw one thing out here because Bagley was a Duke guy, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
And so, apart from JT, name me a Duke high-level pick that's actually played out really well for most of his career. I mean, I think Kyrie's number 2 on the list, and even he's had his injuries and his head case moments. But Zion has not been the world beater. Bagley had his faults.
Brandon Ingram's also been kind of hurt. Like
RJ Barrett's been okay. Nick would say he was the MVP this year, but he wasn't like tremendous for the Knicks. Like he didn't change. Yeah. I mean, he ended up getting them good players in a trade, or a good player in the trade. But like he's been good now for the Raptors. But like that's like I mean, Cooper Flagg's been okay.
Flag,
he's played 3 games or whatever he's played.
Flag and Connor are looking good
Paulo,
so far, but give them time.
I think
Paulo's like a polarizing guy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Actually, like kind of a good point.
Like this year might change. Oh no, Jalen Johnson too. So I think that's probably the closest. Okay. I think that's probably the next like cleanest guys.
Okay,
Jalen Johnson. But your point is it's kind of
Duke is all hat and not as much cattle.
Now those Kentucky Calipari guards are another story.
Oh Jesus, yeah, everybody hit. This Devin year's Carter. New class might. I love Devin Carter coming out. Like he
was down the street from me, and I remember I'd watch PC games, and I'd just be like, you're a smarter basketball dude than me, like unequivocally, like you are. But I just remember watching, being like, this guy takes hero ball shots. Like, he is not that kind of guy, and like that is not his calling card in the NBA. He's someone that was built to be a good defensive, like pesky guard. But I just remember seeing him at PC and be like, I don't get this guy's a lottery pick.
I didn't think he would go in the lottery, but I could easily see him like come into a role in the NBA as a 3-and-D or like just a to do it all type of guard. I'm seeing a lot of. He's not the defender that this guy is, but like the career path could be similar to Davion Mitchell, where like you get drafted by the Kings, their roster is horrible. They bring you into a team with 3-point guards, so you're a lottery pick that can't really get a lot of time. And then you go to a team that actually lets you play, and you're like, oh, this guy is good. Duh. Like, you just didn't let him play. So, yeah, I liked him coming out of college. I hope his confidence isn't completely shot that if he goes to a team that he can still perform, but we'll see.
All right, we can wrap it up there. It's been a half hour. Fun pregame show today. Lovely West Coast always treats us to some late pregames every once in a while. RJ, thank you very much for joining today. Great addition to the crew. Nick, anything you'd like to plug? Congratulations on your milestone. You didn't even the episode didn't even have to air yesterday.
Congrats.
When you were saying to make the accounts, you hit 6K before we even went live. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Nothing to plug. Well, sorry. I did drop in a Mario video earlier today. So just from this last game, just absolute. But yeah, Nick NBA, YouTube, Nick NBA YT, Twitter. That's about it. But saying, appreciate you, man.
All right, we'll wrap it up there. Everybody have a cup of coffee. Here's.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America.